Brian McKenna here. I'm at the 360 show in London and talking to John Colley, who's Managing Director EMEA for ISC Squared. Tell me, why are you here at 360 Degrees IT, which is about infrastructure?
Right. Okay, that's a very good question. What we're finding from our members is that there are two things that are happening in the IT environment. One is a lot of the functions that were performed by the security department are now moving back into IT. These are things like firewall, rule maintenance, security administration, antivirus updating, that sort of stuff. So that's one area that we're trying to focus on, and getting the IT people understanding that they have to take that into account. They have to take security into account when they're doing that. The other aspect is the whole area of application development. And as the attacks on the infrastructure are less successful, the bad guys are moving up the ISO stack to the application level. And we're finding that that a lot of the vulnerabilities are in applications and software, and again we have solutions for that, so we're actually addressing that as well.
Okay, John, the session you're speaking in this afternoon was about the globalization aspect of business.
Yes.
And the security implications of that. What's the significance of that?
Well, that's quite interesting, because the session is called, I think it's Globalised Business plus IT Security. And my take on that is that a globalised business shouldn't have to add IT security on at the end. It should be an integrated part. And each aspect of the business has some sort of security responsibility. We already talked about the IT aspect of that, but it's also the legal, other departments as well. They all have a responsibility, or partial responsibility, for information security.
So John, a big theme of this event, the 360 event, has been the possibility of cloud as the next horizon, a new paradigm for IT, if you will, and a new paradigm in particular for the IT department, which has implications for the jobs of IT professionals in user organisations. Are there similar implications for information security professionals in user organisations if companies and organisations move more towards a cloud computing model?
Yeah. Yes, I think there are. I think first of all they're going to have to learn new skills. It's going to be much more about understanding some of the contractual requirements, understanding how much of that contractual requirement can be negotiated and how much is going to be fixed. It's also understanding that lots of organisations will want to use the cloud, and therefore it's not a question of, oh, you can't use it. It's going to be very much a way of actually thinking about how they can secure those services that they're using through the cloud. So I think it will be a significant change for information security people, the way they think and the skills they're going to need.
So maybe make things more complex?
Certainly it's going to be more complex, but I think it's really going to be, they're going to have to take a completely different mindset in terms of, because there's so much about the cloud that is fixed, that can't be moved, that can't be changed. So the traditional way of thinking, which was saying, these are the requirements that have got to be met, you've actually got to fit your requirements into what the cloud supplier will actually accommodate.
And finally, do you think there's a reunification going on between IT on the one hand and information security on the other?
Yeah, and I think it goes wider than that. I think that the whole business is beginning to wake up to the fact that everybody has a security responsibility, and therefore they have to understand what that's part of their job. And let's face it, a lot of security is not on the technology side, a lot of it is on the people side. So people actually understand what their responsibilities are and what they can do and what they can't do.
John Colley from ISC Squared, thank you very much.
Thanks very much.